Right then, good afternoon ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to the final round of the season then, here in WRC, 8 rounds later, and we find ourselves finally rounding off this season. How fast has it gone? Honestly, it has gone absolutely rapid, it really has. Of course, my first season commentating here at WRC, and we are already about to wrap it up. To stick a flake in it then, everybody, 19 drivers joining us to round off this season, and actually the crowning of a world champion has already happened, as F1 Mikey Boy was in that championship fight, first of all, with Billy Mewis, and unfortunately Mikey will not be attending tonight, meaning Billy gets the World Championship, ladies and gentlemen, and he is your Season 1 World Champion for WRC. So very much congratulations then to Billy for taking that. And in the Discord, he's got a very nice name tag. But in terms of the championship, it is not all over yet then, everybody, because of course, P1 and 2 in the Drivers' Championship is already wrapped up, as we know. That is going to be Billy Mewis, World Champion. Second place is going to be F1 Mikey Boy. But then third place is all going to be contested, ladies and gentlemen, by Maloon, Mikey GTI, and Sidemen. All of them are going to be giving it a good go today to try and get themselves in that third place and claim that final trophy, which is up for grabs in the Drivers' Championship. As here in WRC, they do dish out trophies to the top 3 drivers in the Drivers' Championship, which I think is a really cool thing. And I've not seen them yet, but they do sound pretty cool. And of course, the top 3 will be taking them home. So as we know, that's going to be Billy Mewis then on the World Championship top step. Second place is going to be F1 Mikey Boy, but we do not know the third, and that is what we are going to try and find out today. But it's not all about the Drivers' Championship, then the Constructors' Championship is to be spoken about as well, and that is going to be between the Racing Bulls and the Kick Saubers. However, the Racing Bulls only need 3 points today, and they take the championship either way. So they're in a very good position. They really are. Racing Bulls are 153 points as opposed to Kick Saubers 111. So the championship tonight most likely going to those Racing Bulls of Sidemen and Matt Connor tonight. And it's thoroughly deserved. It really, really is. In the chat then, we have Buxted again. It's good to see you, Charlie. Garrison, hello, that's good to see you as well, mate. And Wolfie. As people join us in the chat now, very nice to see. Well, if you missed it at the start, the final round then, everybody, of WRC, and I do apologise if there's some signage left on the track from the Christmas race. I haven't, like there, it says Christmas race in the background. I haven't had a chance to get rid of it. I didn't download some of the original files for the pictures, so I haven't been able to change all of the sponsor boards, which is a bit annoying. But down the straight as well, it's still on the JCC commentary. I do apologise. But in qualifying so far then, everybody, Humboldt, the fastest man, 123.298. Behind that is Ferrari for Life with 123.299. 1,000ths of a second separates first and second place in qualifying today. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. We've got F1 Mikey Boy watching along with the stream, as I can see that in the Discord. Very nice to see. That's 13 minutes of your qualifying session, everybody, and we are in for a very nice race tonight. WRC, I'm not afraid to say it is my absolute favourite league at the minute that I commentate, and I've got to say, I do apologise if I offend anybody else, but this league, they get it right every week. They really do. You know, even on the final round, everybody, even on the final round, we've got 19 drivers turning up, and that is, honestly, that is what we're here for. I'm very happy to see it. And the Constructors' Championship then, everybody, and the drivers, there's still some stuff to be decided today, and I'm very excited to see which way that's going to go. 11 drivers then with times on the board at the minute. As Humboldt into the pit lane. Ferrari for Life, second place. We've got Samulto in third. Mackie 4, Drippy 5, Sidemen 6, Mikey GTI 7. 8 is Vat of Caramel. 9, Ollie Southall. 10, Daryl. And 11 is Tyler Adams. Yeah, Drew, I'll take a look into it for us, mate. I'll definitely have a look, don't worry. Jack, the 10k bit race is only next week. Oh, you're right. You are right. So this isn't my final commentary of the year, because I will be having one more, honestly, just before the end of this year. But this is the last official league race that I'll be commentating on before, you know, the final kind of fun race that we're doing, the 10k bits race that it is, everybody, for Wolfie Plays, celebrating the fact that he sent 10,000 bits to the channel, and we are going to be doing a race on that on the 30th of December, I believe, so after Christmas, so that's going to be quite good, it is, and we're here for the 23rd of December, everybody, just before your Christmas Eve, with the final round of the season. Sidemen heading round to final corner. He's invalidated, unfortunately, and that'll be the end of qualifying for now for him. Maloon, I think, is heading round through the first sector. This could be a lap for him then. Just keep getting messaged about sign up, be reminded. Yeah, don't worry, mate. We'll sort it out. It's Christmas Eve. It is Christmas Eve, everybody, for the final round of WRC. Soon to be Christmas Eve, of course. I'm sure everybody is looking forward to Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Hopefully you're going to be having a nice time, whatever you're going to be doing, however you're going to be spending it. But here's Maloon then in the middle sector and going quickest at this moment in time. He's all the way down in 18th position because he hasn't set a time. This man holds a massive advantage over Mikey GTI and Sidemen, as he is at the minute the favourite for third place in the Drivers' Championship. He's got 62 points over Mikey GTI with 58 and Sidemen has 53. Maloon wants a good time here in qualifying, then he's going to head round the final corner. Maloon on pole position. Wow, 1:22.9, and he sets the fastest time here in Abu Dhabi. The Aston Martin setting himself up very well for third place in the Constructors' Championship this evening. Very nice indeed then for the Aston Martin. That is a strong time. It really, really is. And quicker than Humboldt today. We held a Christmas race, everybody. We held a Christmas race on Saturday, last Saturday, and the fastest time we got was in the 121s. Oh, it was crazy. It really, really was. Maloon with the 1:22.9. The fastest time in that Christmas race was a whole second quicker. Just shows you, when there's money involved, it attracts some quick drivers. It really does. But that was very good. And if you think that might be something you might enjoy, there was £175 up for grabs. So make sure you go and watch that. It is on my channel. Billy Mew is in the chat. I can't qualify, he says. Billy, have you got a qualifying ban that I missed out about? Maybe, is that what's going on? But Maloon, then, you're quickest man, everybody. I wasn't expecting it. I really wasn't. But the Aston Martin really showing up today here in qualifying. And like I said, on a day which is probably the most important day to show up on, where he could be taking home third place in the Constructors and winning a trophy as well, as they do here in WRC. So this man's on a very good road at the minute. He really is. Got quite a few tenths between him and second place. Has 8 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Now, I just want to start from the back of the... Oh, my... Billy, honestly, I'm so sorry, man. I did see that. Yes, of course. Starting from the back. Of course, as the world champion, as we mentioned earlier on. So, yeah, starting from the back, wants to try his luck. Fair enough, mate. I respect it. I really do. There's Mikey in the chat as well. Of course, he's not here tonight, unfortunately. But a man that, you know, if he did turn up, he maybe could have been your world champion. You never really know, you would never really know. But here's Humboldt then, and he's going to start another lap around then on his way through the first set of corners. Wolfie sends a massive comms report in the chat from CPG. January to March 2025, Season 3, 12 races completed. June to September to Season 4, 12 races as well. Season 5, 7 races. So I've commentated in CPG for 3 whole seasons, 31 streams, 50 hours of streaming, and 450 laps. Wow. It's crazy. That's mad, mate. That's crazy. I can't believe how long I've been there with you. It's mad. But we are far from over with your qualifying session. Mackie, the fastest man, with a 1:22.756. That is absolutely rapid then here in WRC. And the Red Bull, with I've got to admit, the absolutely gorgeous livery on that car is so good. It really is. He goes quickest. He does go faster than Ferrari for life then, who now is in second place with a 4/10 improvement, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Garrison. Always with the funny comments. Always with the funny comments. Thought I'd nip in. Enjoy Christmas. You too, mate. I'll see you later. Thank you very much for joining. Mackie with a beautiful time. That is really good. I'm not too sure if it's going to be beaten. It is brilliant. It really, really is. Wolfie says, since it's Christmas, I'm going to be dropping a gifted sub in the chat. Oh, my brilliant stuff. If you do, mate, really quickly, I'm going to make sure the sound's working for it, just so, you know, it shows up. Oh, never mind. He's already done it. I heard it. Gifted one sub to the community. Wolfie Plays. Gifting a sub then to Deck. Brilliant stuff. Deck needs it, man. He's always in the stream. Thank you very much, Wolfie. I appreciate it. As Deck with the sub. Of course, Deck's always here in the chat, so I'm very glad to hear that. He definitely deserves it. Massive streak on that man. And Wolfie, what an absolute legend. Thank you very much indeed. Merry Christmas to you. As Ferrari for life then heading around the final few corners. The fuel light is on then. He will be going into the pit lane now. That will be the end of his qualifying session at the moment. 5 minutes, everybody. And he will head now into the pit lane. Vat of Caramel is going to be heading down the back straight with a kick Sauber in front of him, then punching a bit of punching a hole in the air as Vat's up in towards the end of this sector, and he's down by 2.8. This is not an improvement lap at the minute. Humboldt in 6th position. He's going to be going into the pit lane at the minute. I do want to see Maloon, Mikey, and Sidemen. Mikey is down in 7, and through the first sector was down on time, unfortunately, but he's going to try and improve again then, down towards the end of Sector 2 here in Abu Dhabi, and he tries to make an improvement with a 10th improvement now. He does improve. Wolfie Plays gives another sub. Absolutely brilliant. And he's gifted it to Charlie as well. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Charlie now with a sub to the channel ad-free. Thank you very much, Wolfie. I appreciate it. You're an absolute legend. As here comes Mikey GTI round the final few corners then, ladies and gentlemen. The Williams up towards the line, who's currently, I think, 5th in the Constructors' Championship. Mikey GTI towards the line. He now takes 5th in the qualifying session. Wow, 1:23.1. Not a bad starting place then here in Abu Dhabi. It's really not too bad at all. Might miss a bit of carnage, of course, at the start, but 4 minutes to go. Not too bad for Mikey. His championship rival, Maloon, though, starting up in 3rd, which is not going to be good for Mikey at all. But it's been going strongly so far. It has. Of course, the world champion not qualifying today, starting from the back of the grid, and we're going to see where he can get himself. But at the moment, it is, it's looking good. It is looking very good in qualifying, everybody. Hope you're all having a very Merry Christmas. Of course, the final stream, the final League Race stream of the year for me. And we have already got some very, very fast times on the board here in Quali, with one of them being Mackie then in that Red Bull. Absolutely rapid, 1:22.7. Really quick time there. As we're going to try and look for a time. Ajor is not on the lap at the moment. Fosie's not on 1-2. I think AW might be our only hope. He's going to head round the final corner. Here comes AW then from P18. Does not improve, unfortunately. And that will be it for him at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. But thank you very much to Wolfie Plays. 2 gifted subs tonight, 3 more, and we reached the 10 sub goal. I think you've also helped me reach the payout nearly, mate, as well. I think we're a few quid off the payout as well, so that's going to be very nice for Christmas. I appreciate that very much. But yeah, very nice indeed. Gifted sub. I don't think we've ever had a gifted sub, so that's very cool, isn't it? But here comes the drivers then up towards the line. The final few times will be coming in a moment, everybody, with Mackie, the fastest man, on his way out on an outlap. I would be worried if I was not him, because he is rapid, and he's out there again to try and improve once more. nobody stands a chance against this Red Bull if he can keep this kind of form, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to head in towards the final few corners. Here he goes then. He's going to begin his final flying lap of the day. The Red Bull, who is absolutely flying, is going to be heading all the way up towards the flying left-hander and starting his lap off. He's got a kick Sauber, actually, waiting on the side of the track in front of him, and an Aston Martin exiting the pit lane too. He moves out of the way. The cars on the right-hand side, the two kick Saubers, move out of the way as well and make way for Mackie, who's down by 100th of a second then in Sector 1, but he's still got time to improve. 2 sectors to go still on a long back straight then in front of him, taking a very esports kind of line all the way down in towards the left-hander chicane. 40% battery left then for this man who's quickest today and looking unbeatable then here in Abu Dhabi at the moment. He's going to head towards the end of Sector 2 in a moment. You can see the line all the way down just before the looping hairpin, which of course was new, I think, for 2021, I think. And Mackie up by 9 thousandths of a second. It isn't up by much, but it will be a slight improvement on his previous lap if he can finish this lap, you know, on the positive, on the green delta. He makes his way around the final few corners then and towards the line to round off possibly his final time today. It will be his final qualifying time today then, around the final 2 corners then here in Abu Dhabi. The quickest man at the moment as he tries to improve again towards the line for the Red Bull. Bit of snapping on the rears. He's down on time, and Mackie's still on provisional pole at the moment though. Behind him, lots of people starting flying laps. Vatov Caramel is out there. Humboldt starting a lap now. Then behind that is Sega, who is heading up towards the line in a moment. I'm not too sure if this is the lap. It could be as he heads round. Matt Connor ahead of that as well. He's starting a lap. Everybody beginning laps. Trippy heading around the first corner. He's on his way around. Sideman's already round this lap at the minute with a 3/10th improvement very nearly in the end of Sector 2. He heads up towards the final few corners now then. This is his final time of the day. He must make it count. Ladies and gentlemen, in that Racing Bull, yellow flags being shown in front of him, but he makes his way around the final 2 corners here in Abu Dhabi. Can Sidemen improve? We know in the World Championship he's fighting for 3rd today, but he's going to be starting from 9th position in this race. Samulto then retires in 2nd place. Lovely time from him as he gets himself up there. Now we're going to look at the drivers heading around the track and up towards the line. It's going to be Darrell's teammate, Joe Toy, who's invalidated. We've got a Mercedes heading round of Ollie South. Never mind, that's his teammate Humboldt, my bad. Humboldt towards the line. He's invalidated as well now. We've got a Red Bull, I believe that is, on his way through. As I need to try and find him. It's not going to be a Red Bull, is it? That's going to be a Racing Bull, who's also invalidated. Everybody invalidating their laps today then. What is going on? Andy J. Price then, our only hope at the moment, heading his way round. Such an unfortunate thing. Everybody invalidating on the final few laps of this season. Round the final corner for Andy J. Price. Over the line in qualifying. Will he improve? He does not. That is it for him. A kick Sauber over the line then, and an Aston Martin following through as well. Both Aston Martins, one of them now on pole position. Maloon with a 1:22.724. Quicker than Mackie as Ferrari for life makes it a 1-2 front row lockout for the Aston Martins in the final round of the season. Ferrari for life on pole position provisionally. Is anybody improving today? Mikey's heading round. He is improving in the minute. This is it, ladies and gentlemen, to round off this season in qualifying up towards the line. Mikey gets 5th position back again. I don't think Sideman's going to be improving. He's not. Darrell then round the final corner. Will Darrell improve today? Can Darrell find any time? 6th place for him. But at the end of this session, the 2 Aston Martins lock out the front row of the grid with Ferrari for life on pole position for the final round of the season here in WRC. Jack, got some details to give you since people won't be able to open the Google Sheet. Sent you a message. No worries, mate. No worries at all. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, what a qualifying session we have just witnessed. That was very nice indeed at the very end. I was not expecting the way it turned out, but the 2 Aston Martins then have managed to get themselves into 1 and 2. We've got no break, ladies and gentlemen, going into the race. So I will be starting. I think I'm going to have to miss the qualifying results because I don't want to I don't want to... Actually, no, we've got a formation lap, haven't we? I can do the race intro. Don't worry about that. Never mind. But we have a race intro, ladies and gentlemen, of course, as you always get here in WRC. And we will be playing that again for you in a moment. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Finish results for your qualifying session. It has been a very strong session. It really has. I really enjoyed that for the final round. As here we go then. Ferrari for life, the British driver, taking pole position by 0.2 of a second to his teammate as the Aston Martins lock out the front row of the grid. Mackie third then with Samilto 4, Mikey GTI 5, Daryl 6, Drippy 7, Vat of Caramel 8, 9 is Humboldt, and 10 is a Jaw Toy. Right then, ladies and gentlemen. Next up is your race intro. We'll see you very, very soon. Well, finally, ladies and gentlemen, after many, many weeks, 8 rounds then here in WRC as the commentator, and we finally round off this season with the world champion being crowned of Billy Mewis here. And we reach Abu Dhabi then, the Yas Marina circuit, with the final podium position being up for grabs in the Drivers' Championship this evening. 3.281 miles then, ladies and gentlemen, at track distance, as of course your top speed, 215 miles per hour down the back straight with 16 turns across the Abu Dhabi Yas Marina circuit. So a lot of overtaking opportunities that you get here today. And the tyres then have been issued to us on your screen by Pirelli, the softest set that they give us. It is the C5, the C4 and the C3. Of course, C5 being the soft, C4 being the medium, and the C3 being the hard. So we're going to move on to the main action, everybody, as the drivers now have managed to get themselves onto the formation lap. And we are going to move on to the Grand Prix. This is it then. The final round of the season, ladies and gentlemen. No break in between. We've just gone straight into the race. No waiting around. I'm very much looking forward to this. I really, really am. With the drivers who, some of the drivers in here I've not seen for a while, actually. But majority, have been here since the start. And it's good to see. It is really good to see. After 8 weeks of commentating WRC, this will be it for the season. Finishing for Christmas, and we're going to hopefully start up again after the new year. But we've got to round this one off first. We're going to close the chapter here in Abu Dhabi, and there's 3 drivers all up for 3rd place in the Drivers' Championship standings. There's 2 teams up for the winning constructor, with one of them on the verge of winning it pretty much instantly. It is Sidemen and Matt Connor in the Racing Bulls most likely are going to go ahead and win that Constructors' Championship right off the bat today, then, if they can do well. But wow, this is going to be very nice indeed, with the 2 Aston Martins rounding off your formation lap to begin the Grand Prix, with Ferrari for life being the man in front as the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix is about to begin. Get sharing the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Share it all around, because this is the final round of WRC. After 8 weeks, we finally close the chapter on this season, and the final few drivers round the final corner. They will line up in their designated grid spots then. And here in Abu Dhabi, we get ready to start the final round of the season as we watch from the front of the grid as the Aston Martins lock out the front row today. It is going to be lights out And away we go for the final time of the season here in WRC. Ferrari for life off the line very well then ahead of his teammate. His teammate tries to fight through up the inside. Behind that then it's Mackie and Samilton going side by side as the McLaren just about gets his car in front there and manages to claim third place today. Ferrari for life and Malone are off the track, off the start, very cleanly indeed. After locking out the front row of the grid, they still maintain that 1 and 2 then. Through turn 5 we go. Darrell gets hit there as he goes round with Drippy in the kick. Sauber, he's all the way down to the back of the grid now then as the drivers snake all the way down the back straight as we look to the front again as never mind there's a battle going on in the middle here. Vat of Caraman I think right in the middle of it and he's got a racing bull of sidemen trying to get ahead. Lots of action going on here. Through the chicane we go then as we did miss a bit of action at the front as well. Malone, ladies and gentlemen, takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Malone ahead of his teammate as Samilton now trying to fight his teammate at the Aston Martin. Round the outside line, Ferrari for life goes back through past his teammate as Malone has to wait his turn. And now Samilton trying to get the best of him. He's going to look up the inside line. The Aston Martin gets pushed wide. This is getting very close indeed. Up the inside for the McLaren who just about gets ahead of the Aston Martin. But not for long because Malone is not letting this one go so easily. And now this is helping Mackie get into the action as well, ladies and gentlemen. The first round of this race is to be concluded now. And wow, what a first lap that was. Ferrari for life then with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as he's now 0.8 of a second ahead of his teammate. Malone's behind that then. Second place, Samilton third, Mackie fourth. The drivers head through the first sector once again then for the second time today. It's clean racing so far, it really is. Lots of action going on, but nobody retired on the first lap of the race. Nobody round into the wall as AW loses his rears, and we saw him do that in qualifying as well. Such a shame then for AW, as he now gets himself back on the track then. But such a shame as he does retire on the track actually, and AW's out. The first retiree of the session, ladies and gents, up in towards the left-hander. Up the inside there goes Sidemen on Tyler Adams. Sidemen goes into 7th position. Malone at the minute then, the driver who will be taking third place in the Drivers' Championship and taking home that trophy that gets given out here in WRC. But that could all change. It could all change at this minute in time. Tyler Adams then having a battle here with Malone. They go side by side. Wheel contact there then as they very nearly take each other out. Humboldt managed to stay in front as the McLaren finds a gap up the inside. Through goes the McLaren into P8 as now Humboldt tries to give it a go round the outside again. He's through to 8 as he gets very close to the wall, ladies and gentlemen. And Tyler Adams has to wait back behind as now he takes an inside line which does compromise his entry into the final corner. Lap 3 of 29 now. Where is Deckers, says Wolfie. I completely agree. He's going to lose his streak. He's going to lose his streak. I cannot believe it. As Sega then down in P18. He's got Darrell in front of him. Ahead of that, this is a battle that's soon to happen. Ollie Southall is right on the backside of Fosi then at the minute. And he just cut the corner a little bit there. That will be a warning to him, I think. As Darrell getting massively close to the backside of Ollie Southall as they all head down the back straight once again. And Ferrari for life is your race leader. Malone, the difference is now he's only 0.3 of a second behind. He's brought the gap down from 0.7 to 2. Now it's back up to half a second as behind Matt Connor and a Jaw Toy having a good battle through the chicane. Bad footing on the exit there for Matt as now a Jaw Toy on the medium compound tyres. He's going to try and fight back in the Ferrari. The Scuderia Ferrari looks for the inside line into the hairpin. 3 abreast into the hairpin. They go. The Ferrari goes through. They go side by side through the left-hander. Who gets in front here? It's going to be Matt Connor into 10. Off the track. There goes the Jaw Toy. Behind that, Billy Mewis gets his foot up the door. He started at the back of the grid. The world champion then, everybody, this season as he now makes his way from P19 into P12 at this minute in time, and he's having a very strong race at the minute. Now he's going to get into P11 as a Jaw Toy pretty much lets him through. Wow. The action at the minute then is, you know, absolutely brilliant. It really is into the first corner on the 4th lap of 29, everybody. Ollie Southall and Fosie at the back is still giving it a good go and a good scrap as they head around the first corner, sorry. And we head down in towards the left-hander. Will we get any overtakes down into here? Drivers massively close behind each other, but just finding the right spot to do it. Drippy in 12 then with the Jaw Toy behind him. We make our way down the back straight now then. Here comes that the Ferrari, the Scuderia Ferrari of a Jaw Toy. Making a move past the Kick Sauber here. 2 Kick Saubers being overtaken at the same time. But both of them able to defend their positions. In front of that then was some action that we did miss. As you can see there, look at that pack then, heading down in towards the hairpin. Oh my, Mackie then is 4 abreast into the hairpin. Oh my lord, what is going on here? Ahead there gets Mikey GTI, but around the outside, Sidemen holds on to it in 3rd. Mikey then in 4 as Vat of Caramel comes in 5. Mackie trying to hold it in 6 through the right-hander as they try and keep themselves on the track. Here comes Samilto. It's 3 abreast again into the final few corners in this final sector. How are they even doing this to keep it clean? Samilto in 7, Mackie's in front of him, and they head round the final few corners, ladies and gentlemen. What is going on here today? The final round is delivering some overtakes for us. It really is. And the drivers giving it absolutely everything to battle. Wow. A Jaw Toy in the pit lane as the drivers continue on. Wolfie clearly liking the action after his reactions in the chat. Oh man, that was very good. I've not seen action like that for a while. We went 4 abreast into the hairpin. How was that even kept relatively clean? I do not know. But these guys, they are some crazy caliber of racing. These guys are brilliant. They really are. And Billy Mewis from the back of the grid, now into the top 10, making a move past Matt Connor. He is through now and thoroughly deserving it in the minute. He is flying. Humboldt picks up a 3-second time penalty and the first driver to do so this evening, which is quite surprising actually. But the driver's doing quite well on time penalties at the minute. The top 2 of Ferrari for Life and Malone are holding on to that 1 and 2 very well indeed. And it's, you know, it's early to say, but it is shaping up to be an Aston 1-2 right now because they have just got that. I don't even know how to explain it. They've just got that about them today that it's going to go their way. They are absolutely flying in that Aston Martin. As Ferrari for Life 1, Malone 2, Sidemen around the final corner, 4 seconds adrift from them. And Mikey GTI comes in 4, Vat of Caramel in 5th. We're heading towards the first corner to start the 6th lap of 29 today. As Mikey in the chat as it stands, Aston jump into P2 in the Constructors. Wow. Wow, indeed. As I also believe that the Racing Bulls at the minute, everybody, are going to be your Constructors World Champions. Racing Bulls will be the Constructors Champions as it stands. And thoroughly deserved. Is Malone on the backside of his teammate, trying his absolute damned hardest to make a move past him. But at the minute, it's just not opening up for him, and he's just having to wait for that right moment. But right now, it is not opening up. It really isn't. Under the WRC signage. There's Humboldt and Samilto then, all the way down in towards the left-hander hairpin. We're going to look towards the outside line. Now the inside for Tyler Adams with a bit of a fake then on the Red Bull. The McLaren into P8 as Mackie, who started, quite high up on the grid today, is down to P9. Malone currently P3, Mikey. Absolutely he is. Malone right now dominating today. And if it stays like this, he will be taking that final trophy in the Drivers' Championship at the minute. The first 5 laps of the Grand Prix have been absolutely brilliant, delivering on the final race of the season for WRC. 4 abreast into the hairpin, I'll never forget. That was incredible, it really was. But the fact that these guys have managed to keep that relatively clean. Of course, there was some touching and tussling. That is what you expect, though. You know, and it's called racing. It really is. But 4 abreast, and you can keep it on the track and keep it clean. These guys are something else. They really are. Oh, drippy here then. Never mind, I'm on the wrong Kick Sauber, my bad. Billy Mewis up the inside line of Mackie. He does get into 9. Mackie drops down to the bottom of the top 10. Darrell then in 11. He's now got Matt Connor on the rear side, and they will all get the DRS open all the way down towards the hairpin as we look to the drivers who possibly can make an overtake here, but at the minute, just a long DRS train. As in the chat, that's a good point raised. Safety car changes everything. It really does. Imagine if we get it. Can you imagine? In that Christmas race that I hosted a few days ago, it honestly went down the exact way of Abu Dhabi 2021. It was really weird. As Ferrari for Life then makes the first pit stop out of the Aston Martin boys, and the driver's up at the front. He makes a very early pit stop then on the mediums, 8 laps in. Does anybody else follow him, though? I think a lot of drivers are following him. Never mind, not very early at all, is it? As everybody deciding to do that same thing, and a lot of drivers doing that thing now. It is going to be the hard compound tyres for the medium runners, a lot of them anyway, as they are coming out now on their brand new kitted out tyres. As Drippy X is in the pit lane as he goes through P18. Billy Mewis goes through to P16. A lot of penalties down at the back of the grid now as well we didn't know about. As Darrell and Mackie, they've just swapped positions, I believe. Oh, round goes Mackie in the Red Bull, cooking his tyres then on lap 8. Not what he wants to be doing, unfortunately, as the Red Bull now has got his Red Bull teammate Fozy trying to make a move on the rear side of him, and because he's in ghost mode, it's very easy to get ahead of him, and he's now done that quite easily. Up into P9 then for Mackie's teammate Fozy. As into the pit lane goes Maloon 22. As we know, this man at the minute looking for that third place, in the Drivers' Championship. He now makes a pit stop along with Vat of Caramel. And in the pit lane, he goes on for the hard compound tyres, exiting now, driving through the mechanics' legs. But he's coming out of the pit lane with the second lot of drivers that didn't make a pit stop earlier. Everybody doing the same thing then as they exit. 20 laps remaining then here in Abu Dhabi, as we've done 9. And Mikey GTI, your race leader today, still out there on the track, hasn't decided to make his pit stop yet. Tyler Adams has not made his pit stop yet either. Darrell as well. They're the 3 drivers that haven't pit stopped today. Everybody else has been into that pit lane at least once today. Ladies and gentlemen, watch out for Mikey, one stop. Where is Mikey? Mikey up in P1, of course, yes. Mikey with one-stop strategy, as we'll see what he can do. But to anybody in the chat, if anyone's still here in the Jack Crossley comms and, of course, WRC, what does everybody think about me maybe getting a co-commentator for some races now and then? You know, that may be quite cool. I don't know. Or would that take it away from it? You have to let me know if that maybe would be something cool to do. I don't know. Opinions, that would be great. Ollie Southall then with a 3-second time penalty and another penalty to another driver on the grid today, as they soon start to build up then. Here in Abu Dhabi, Tyler Adams goes into the pit lane. Wolfie says, only if I don't pay double. Fair enough, I understand that. I definitely do. Two sets of eyes watching the action. Yeah, you're right. I might think about it, to be fair. I don't think I want it all the time, but, you know, someone in here. And I've got somebody I know exactly who I'd want in here as well. I don't know if he's in the chat still, but Tyler Adams then making his way down towards the left-hander. Can Tyler get it in front of the Ferrari? They go side by side as the McLaren gets into 10th position, everybody, and he's through. Absolutely brilliant. Now he's through. A Jaw Toy behind him is going to try and fight it back. DRS is activated, but not for a Jaw Toy, as now here comes Matt Connor through past one. Matt Connor's going to try and get through past two. He sends a massive dive up the inside line in the McLaren. Not as good as an exit of him as he sends the Ferrari round. The Ferrari then, everybody, of a dual toy goes all the way round at the back as here comes Matt Connor round the outside line into the hairpin, trying to give it his best go. He does get through and he goes into P10. That was a great move. As it's not over yet. It is not over yet then. 3% battery left in the car for Tyler Adams, which is going to make it massively harder to get himself back through here in Abu Dhabi and ahead of Matt Connor in front of him. As the battle continues, everybody, it really does. Matt Connor in front on the brand new hard compound. Tyler Adams with a penalty now just behind, trying to keep himself on the track as he's fighting as fast and hard as possible. As a dual toy retires in the pit lane and leaves us with 17 drivers here today. But yes, Wolfie guesses it right in the chat. Garrison, he would be the man to commentate with me, of course. Up the inside line, the switchback of dreams again for Tyler Adams. Look at this man go, switching back underneath, and he goes into P10. Matt Connor down to 11. Great move there as Matt tries to fight back with no DRS here, but he's still keeping within range. Gaining and gaining. Behind him, he's got a kick Sauber trying to keep up on him as well. As into the chicane we go, and it's Tyler Adams and Matt Connor occupying 10 and 11. They are giving it an absolutely brilliant battle. As around the outside line for Matt Connor, makes a flying move on the McLaren as he gets in front then to go into P10, sorry. And Tyler Adams then drops down to 11. Drippy has got front row seats to this action in front of him. It's Mikey GTI now. He's going to attempt that one-stop strategy. The graining on the tyres is not going to be good for him as he enters the pit lane now to go on the hard compound. And now, I'm guessing for him, it's going to be a fight to the end as he waited way later on the mediums. Now comes out in P9. He will lose even more places briefly, but can he gain them back on the exit of the pit lane now? All the way out then. Will he get ahead of anybody? He does get overtaken by a few. Mikey GTI comes out in P12. Could be P11 then if he gains on this Drippy in front of him. He tries around the outside line, does Mikey GTI. As now he gains and gains and gains, but not able to get past this man in front. Here comes Tyler Adams on Matt Connor again. Now the battle for P9. Tyler goes through up the inside line. The McLaren gets ahead, three abreast in towards the chicane. Drippy up the inside line, leaving no room for error here then as they go side by side. Drippy's rear is sliding out a little bit there, keeping it on the track somehow as Mikey GTI behind that was massively off behind. And Tyler Adams, he's now trying to get back on in P11. Matt Connor 10 and Drippy all the way through to 9. There's Vassiv Caramel with a 3-second time penalty now. Another penalty for another driver as they add up. There we go then, round the final corner lap, everybody, sorry, lap 13 of 29, and we head in towards the first corner. Never mind, we're going to look to the front actually, because Ferrari for Life and Daryl and Maloon as well are all within a good battling range here. We've got Ferrari for Life up the inside line as Daryl now is going to try and take it on the outside, marginally in front here then. Who can break later? The Aston Martin tries his best to, but isn't able to, and Daryl up the front, everybody. Ferrari for Life with a good exit now, though he's fighting back. The slipstream here from Maloon as well. The two Aston Martins are going to make a double overtake on that man there in the Ferrari of Daryl as they both get through together. Ferrari for Life gets into the lead. Maloon in second place, and Daryl has to concede and drop down to third. That was a great move from both of them in sync. Synchronised overtaking here then from the Aston Martins. As Billy Mewis, who started at the back of the grid then, down in P19, is in P7, and he's gaining on the guys in front as well. He's got 2.2 seconds then, and he is gaining. Humble with a 3-second time penalty at the minute. And this race, absolutely unreal at the minute. It really is. The battles that we've been getting out of it are incredible. And for the final round of the season, who's going to complain? Not me. I'm definitely not complaining, because this is the kind of race we want to round off the season, of course. 23rd of December, just before Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day, of course. Christmas period coming up, and a great race to round it off. Samulto with a 3-second penalty as the front two drivers then, the two Aston Martins, leading this one still at the moment and doing really well in doing so. Ferrari for Life would be your winner, but Malone today is only fighting for that third place, of course, in the Drivers' Championship, and he will be claiming that today if it finishes like this. Humboldt in 4 then with sidemen behind. Humboldt does get ahead there. Humboldt on his way through at the minute and making some great overtakes as he gets into P4. As here comes Sidemen to go again. He looks for the inside line in that Racing Bull. Up the inside he tries then as he's 53 points as opposed to Maloon's 62. He's still trying to gain then. He'd like that third place in the championship, but it just isn't going to go his way today. If Maloon finishes in second place, it'll completely screw Sidemen over, and he's not going to be able to take that position that he's been wanting then all season long. Well, you know, the final rounds of the season then, you know, which is possible for him. There's lap 15 of 29, then we are about half race distance now then, I'd just say just over or in the middle anyway. About half race distance now then, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, you will be having your post-race interviews for the top 3 drivers later on. And I cannot believe the way, you know, this season has gone. It's the battle between the drivers. How have we got so many drivers all fighting for these positions? Humboldt with Sidemen in front. Sidemen manages to stay in front of that one. Behind that, though, the drivers head through the chicane. And nothing coming from this at the minute, but the DRS will be activated all the way down towards the hairpin. There's that lot. No overtakes from them, but we've still got the second wave of drivers making their way through. And yes, of course, I should have mentioned this before, actually, everybody. I should have actually brought it up to Mikey. But we will be interviewing your world champion as well, of Billy Mewis, and ask him, you know, to reflect on his season and, you know, how he feels about everything that's happened. But Samulto behind Vat of Caramel at the moment, trying to make a move. It's actually quite hard to follow on your own. There's a lot going on. It's Samulto round. He spins the rears. And that could have been a lot worse then. But he caught the car in the slide, and very lucky there to not make a scene about it. Wolfie says, see everyone next week for the New Year's 10K Bits race. Hope everyone has a lovely Christmas. You too, mate. Thanks for the gifted subs, and we'll see you later. So much going on. So much going on. And there's even more going on here then. Maloon trying to gain on his teammate, but cannot make that pass past him at the minute. There's Humboldt of the Mercedes then, the 410th cap to the man in front. And there's battles absolutely everywhere. There really is. A lot to follow, and we have this bunch of drivers heading round through the PayPal signage and up towards then the final 2 corners. Darrell with a 3-second time penalty as he now enters the pit lane and does not speed in the pit lane, gets the entry well, but he does get a 3-second penalty for cutting a corner as Fozy now picks up the same penalty. As in the pit lane goes Darrell, goes onto the mediums, and that'll be his second stop of the day. Never mind, no, it won't be his first stop of the day. Darrell went really long. Wow. Well, lap 18 of 29, Ollie Southall retires in the pit lane then. Such a shame. Drivers retiring left, right and centre at the minute. We've got Ollie, Ajor and AW all out of tonight's Grand Prix. There's yellow flags in the main straight, of course, as that's where he has retired the car. And here comes the Aston Martin in Malone 22, looking for third in the championship today. He goes around the outside of his teammate. They give it a good go then. Is Malone going to be able to get ahead of his Aston Martin teammate today? He has to slot behind again. Not able to make that pass, ladies and gentlemen, as the Aston Martin wakes behind, not able to fully commit to that move today. The two McLarens as well now come behind in 8 and 9. Tyler Adams and Samilto, they're having the fight of their life. They're not the oh my! Samilto loses his rears again. Second time we've seen that today. As at the same time, Ferrari for Life makes a pit stop from the hard compound tyres, and he's going to be getting on the new hards again. There's pit stops for Ferrari for Life. Mikey GTI continues on. Sidemen in the pits as well. Vat of Caramel also in. As Samilto with a 3-second penalty. And speaking of them, let's quickly have a look really quickly. 6 seconds to Humboldt then. 6 to Vat of Caramel. 9 for Samilto. And it's 3 for Billy, Tyler, Fozy, Daryl and Drippy then. They are your time penalties today. Samilto retires from the session now. He retires in the pit lane. That is another driver leaving us tonight then. The battles have been good though, and although we are losing drivers, the battles are so brilliant. Humboldt and Malone are giving it a good go through the hairpin. Malone is, oh never mind, Humboldt and Billy Mewis, my apologies. Billy Mewis on the backside of Humboldt here to try and make a move through the Louis Vuitton section. Can he get through in the kick Sauber? He's got a main straight coming up at the moment, and that is possibly where he can get that move done. And if not, there's a whole back straight after that. We'll find out what Billy Mewis can do with a 0.3 of a second gap, and he now goes into the pit lane, everybody, for those brand new tyres. Will it be the hards again for him? Matt Connor with a penalty. Another penalty now then is in the pit lane. Goes Billy. Mackie gets a penalty as well. Billy on the new hard compound tyres, and this is where he gets passed massively by the drivers. He's going to go underneath the bridge then to try and get out in front of them as quick as he can, but I think he's just missed the train and he will not get ahead of any of them, unfortunately, down to P13. Oh, side by side here then, as Sideman's going to try and make a move then through past Sega here then. He's done it into 10. Sideman gets ahead. Is this going to be a move as well? The Ferrari of Daryl sending his car on the grippy medium compound tyres as opposed to the less grippy hards as he sends who was that? Matt Connor. He sent Matt Connor around everybody down to the back of the grid nearly in P13 as 10 remaining laps and Vat of Caramel up the inside of Sega to get ahead into 10. He does get ahead and that's a great move past him then with only 10 remaining laps. What a race this has been. Absolutely sensational. It really has. Humboldt's in the pit lane then. And we'll get the brand new, what did he got on there? The hards. It's going to be Fozy, Sega and Matt Connor all in as well. That's through the first set of corners and 9 laps to go today, everybody. The race, you know, ticking by fairly fast, actually. The drivers have made it much better to watch. They really have. As they never fail to deliver, but today it's just been something else. It's been a new league. Chanaman. Mince pie and WRC. What more do I need, he says. As here comes your kick sour, but Billy Mewis then, ladies and gentlemen, gaining on the backside of Vat of Caramel at the moment. In the chat then, we've got Jimmy then. The racing looks good, and so is the commentators, and I appreciate it. But of course, the racing, all props goes to Mikey and the boys that organise it, because wow, it's always some good action here. It really is. Round the final corner then, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be Billy Mewis up towards the line with the drivers in front of him, and not an overtake coming just yet, but you know, as we know then, everybody, Billy Mewis is your world champion. He decided to start from the back of the grid in tonight's race, and he's managed to get himself all the way up into 8th. So he's done well. He's done very well indeed. With only 8 laps left, he still could gain. Always here comes a move then. The Ferrari... Oh, never mind. The Ferrari had sidemen behind him. Behind that, there was Vat of Caramel and Billy Mewis. Billy up the inside. Vat has to go wide and loses that position quite easily there. He really does. Tries to use all his ERS and battery to stay with this train, but the DRS train is just so strong. Up the inside, here goes Billy Mewis. He's still making moves from the back of the grid. The world champion is not over yet. Still racing his heart out then in the final few laps here in Abu Dhabi. The Kick Sauber is giving it absolutely everything. Already wrapped the championship up, and now trying to go from a last to first, everybody, as he makes his way around the final 2 corners. Not able to get ahead just yet, but I'm sure it is pretty inevitable. He's absolutely flying as he goes off a bit wide here. So here we go then, all the way into the left-hander, 3 abreast then into turn 5. Darrell around the outside line. Darrell goes into P4. Sidemen has got Tyler Adams to look at up the inside. As Sidemen just about manages to get ahead, but that compromises him here on the exit as Billy Mewis is now going to try and get ahead. They go side by side all the way up towards the left-hander. Incredible racing action here as we head in towards the left-hand side, and Sidemen is the man in front with Darrell. They go 2 by 2 by 2 into the chicane, and Darrell drops back to 5. Sidemen gets into 4, and this continues down towards the hairpin. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Absolutely sensational. And up the inside line goes Vat of Caramel, getting ahead of Humboldt, and they are racing their heart out today here in WRC then, everybody, as he will make a move through. Humboldt, unfortunately, isn't going to be able to get ahead of the Alpine, and will stick behind, but we move up towards the front then here in Abu Dhabi. Sidemen up towards 4 at the minute. Darrell still trying to fight with him. They're all going side by side through the final corner then with 6 laps remaining in this final round of the season here in WRC. Sidemen with a penalty, but we head towards the line with the drivers in the mid-pack. And Humboldt manages to get ahead here of Vat of Caramel, who gets onto the curb and unfortunately has to back off there, loses time. Tyler Adams then has to go off the track as well, and he picks up a 3-second penalty because of that. But 6 laps remaining then here in Abu Dhabi, and the 2 Aston Martins are running away with it really, really well indeed. But the Aston Martins, they've done brilliantly well. They really have. And at the minute, Malone will be taking home 3rd place in the Drivers' Championship standings. And at the minute, of course, will be the driver to take home one of the trophies. One going to the World Champion, Billy Mewis. The other one going to F1 Mikey Boy, who unfortunately isn't here tonight, watching the race so with a pint in hand. And the 3rd trophy at the minute will be going to Malone 22. Not too many laps left of the Grand Prix then, and the drivers head round the final corner. Tyler Adams goes into the pit lane, and he's going to be getting on some, you know, mediums to the end, isn't it? Surely it is going to be the mediums then. Oh, into the wall for Tyler Adams. What was going on there then? On the pit exit. Maybe slightly damaging his wing here, but he comes out just behind the Williams of Andy J. Price then as we look towards the left-hand side to make a move, ladies and gentlemen, but he can't do it just yet. Brand new medium compound tyres, though, against the older soft compound. And at the minute, it'll be, you know, a lot nicer for Tyler to drive on these than it will Andy on those. Unless Andy went in recently, I'm not too sure. 2-lap old, never mind. The 2-lap old softs won't be too bad at the minute, but they will get worse. They definitely will get worse. As these drivers, they've been at it all race long. They've not given a rest at all, have they? They really haven't. Lap 24 is going to become lap 25 now then as we head around the final few corners in the final sector with this mid-pack who are absolutely flying today and battling like their life depends on it. As around the final corner, heading this battle off is a kick Sauber of Billy Mewis, and he's driven a great race today, but can he hold his own and can he hold that position till the end of the race today to come home in 4th place? He's got a time penalty, the same as everybody else behind him, so they're all on level, level playing fields at the moment. As they head down into turn 5, and no moves happening just yet, but we're going to head round the final corner of Tyler Adams now retiring from the session, and Tyler out of the race, losing 5 people now and 14 remaining, but even without the 5 people, the racing action has still been pretty damn good. Zverev Karaman with a 3-second penalty. More penalties on the grid now. Then we head round the final corner of the 2 Aston Martins and give us about 3 to 4 laps left now. Let's look at these, still going at it. Daryl, is that his teammate? No, it is Daryl, never mind. Daryl then into the pit lane with Billy Mewis and Sidemen and Humboldt all doing the same thing, because the safety car has been deployed at the end of this race here in Abu Dhabi. The safety car is out, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. It has gone down to the wire, and the safety car deployed with Andy J. Price getting a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. But I was not expecting a safety car to come out. I really wasn't. But, wow. Safety car, ladies and gents. First one of the race. And to round off this season, everybody in the pit lane now then getting on the brand new tyres. Tyres on your screen. A lot of that dominated by the red compound of tyre, which, as you know, is the softs, which is the quickest that Pirelli offer. And that safety car has allowed the drivers to do that now. The top 3 drivers still haven't been into the pit lane, but I'm sure they will. Mikey in the chat says Maloon for the W. Here we go then, Maloon and his leader, his race leader and teammate into the pit lane. Maloon's going to do the same, of course. I'm sure Mikey GTI is going to do that as well. And if you're wondering why he's going snail pace around the track, it's because he's trying to avoid getting a massive penalty. He has to stay within the delta, of course, as he now heads into the pit lane. That means pretty much everybody here has made a pit stop. Apart from Fozy, I think now. Fozy will be the only driver who hasn't made a pit stop under the safety car. But everybody else has. Throw for life, Maloon and Mikey, all on the fresh softs. Every single driver in this Grand Prix tonight will be on the brand new soft compound tyres, apart from Fozy on the 11 lap hold hard. Will Fozy come into the pit lane, or will he stay out on the tyres? Who's got what pens in the chat is asked by Ollie Southall. A lot of 3s across the grid. There's 1-6 there, 1-9 for that of Caramel. But, you know, majority of the penalties are, of course, a 3-second there. As Fozy does now make a pit stop, ladies and gentlemen. And he, I'm sure, will be on the new softs. He will. Andy J. Price in as well. And, ladies and gentlemen, every single driver in this race are on the brand new soft compound tyres. And he's in the pit lane again. And he's now getting on the mediums. Maybe because he had wing damp. Never mind. Mediums coming on. Not entirely sure why he's done that. But the safety car is in at the end of this lap, everybody. And we are soon to round off this season. Of course, the safety car in the F1 games has to go away 3 laps before the end, or 2 or 3 laps before the end, and that is exactly what it's going to do. It has to allow for 2 racing laps at the end of the Grand Prix, and that is what we're going to get. Which way is this going to be decided then, ladies and gentlemen? Ferrari for life in front, Malone second place. The Drivers' World Championship has been rounded off today. Of course, as we know, it's going to be Billy Mewis as your Drivers' Champion. The Constructors' Championship is looking like it's going to go the way of the Racing Bulls at the moment. Yeah, as I'm sure it is going to go the way of the RBs. But still, 3rd place in the championship is up for grabs, and the safety car is in the pit lane as now Ferrari for life becomes your effective pace car. Malone is behind his teammate. He hasn't got a penalty. Mikey GTI hasn't got a penalty either. And this will be a good battle, won't it, ladies and gentlemen? Round the final corner and to round off this season here in WRC. And what a great season it has been. Here we go. The final 2 laps of the Grand Prix begin once again. And the 2 Aston Martins get a sensational jump off the rest of the drivers in towards the turn 1. And the mid-pack still bunching up then all the way down towards the bottom straight and into the turn 5 hairpin. Will we get any moves from any of them then? A bit of a Max Verstappen up the inside line was being thought about there from Humble, but didn't make that move and stayed behind today. Drippy then is behind that, ladies and gentlemen. Drippy's in P11. He's got Sega to think about behind him in P12. But the drivers head down the back straight and in towards the chicane for the second to last time today. Here's a battle from behind. Then is Mackie trying to, steer clear of the man in front of him. Just about then managed to keep the car clean, and unfortunately though didn't make any moves. Billy Mewis in P4. He went from the back of the grid all the way to the podium then. He's going to have an absolutely brilliant battle here, ladies and gentlemen, with Mikey GTI. But at the end of this one, on the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix, Billy Mewis from the back of the grid as a world champion is now into 3rd place on the podium. He might not hold it because of Mikey GTI having no penalties, and he does, but it's still good to say that he's managed to make his way up that many times. From P19 to P3 is quite a good achievement, and exactly showing why he is the world champion for Season 1 of WRC. The final lap of the race begins then, ladies and gentlemen, and the final lap of an 8-round season. Finally, my first season commentating WRC, an incredible league that it is, but finally, after many racing laps that I've covered, this is the final one, and it all comes down to this then. A lot of the championships are wrapped up, but the 3rd place is still up for grabs, and Malone is looking for it right now. We can see him in 2nd place, trying to make a move here on the final lap on Ferrari for life. He's going to go round the outside line. Malone on for the race lead today, past his teammate. They go side by side through the chicane on the new soft compound tyres. Who gets out ahead? Billy Mewis from P19 now is in the mix with them at the front as the Aston Martins giving it everything on the final lap today. Billy makes a move here on Ferrari for life up the inside line as Malone gets through past his teammate. Ferrari losing 2 positions then on this lap around, and he gets back through past Billy Mewis actually as Billy sends it again up the inside. He doesn't want to let this one go. The battling at the end is absolutely brilliant as this is the final lap of the race and the final lap of the season. An incredible season that we have had as Malone 22 will round the final corner. He's going to take the win here in the final round in Abu Dhabi and take 3rd place in the Drivers' Championship this year. Mikey GTI second place, Billy Mewis third, and of course, as we know, brings home the Drivers' World Championship for Season 1 in WRC. It'll be Daryl coming home in 4, Ferrari for Life 5, Cyban 6, Sega 7, Mackie 8, 9 is Matt Connor, 10 Humbled, 11 is Drippy, 12 out of Caramel, and 13, I missed the driver. But cheers to a great season, everybody, because that was brilliant. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Malone winning this Grand Prix tonight. Mikey GTI second place. And Billy Mewis, the world champion, from the back of the grid, getting onto the podium. It's been an incredible race, an incredible season. Before we round off, we have your interviews, ladies and gentlemen, which we will be getting into really quickly. And having a quick chat with the drivers, as we will soon get in the post-race interviews channel. Right then, let's start with the world champion, shall we? Billy Mewis, are you ready, mate?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Good stuff. Well, the world championship has been wrapped up. Season 1 world champion, and of course today, starting from the back of the grid all the way onto the podium. Just first of all, give us your thoughts on the race. Then we'll talk about the championship.
I felt really slow because my car just kept sliding out, but I'm just happy I got the podium.
Did you not think you were going to end up getting on the position you managed to gain today then?
No. The safety car did help a lot because I had fresh softs from not qualifying. So yeah, I did have a big advantage from that.
Well, of course, you talk about not liking the race, but the World Championship being taken by you in this Season 1. How challenging did you find it this season then, fighting with the likes of Mikey and the rest of the drivers, throughout these 8 rounds that we've had?
Yeah, very challenging. I did not think I'd come first at all because MCL was really good, but he had wheel troubles. Mike Boy's insanely fast. Then new people getting introduced and they were even quicker. So yeah, I did not think I'd get first.
Well, of course, it has gone that way. Going into the second season, do you feel that you're hopeful to be able to try and do that again? Or because I've seen in many leagues, people win the championship, they'll come back the next season and it's a mega fall off. But do you think you're going to be different?
No, I think it's going to be a generational fall off.
Do you?
I don't think I'm even going to be top 5. I think it's going to be bad, but I'll try my best.
Okay.
But I don't see myself getting any quicker. But yeah.
Good stuff. Well, Season 1 world champion, mate. Well done, and thank you very much for your time. Great season.
Thank you.
Right, we're going to move on to Malone, who of course won tonight's Grand Prix. Are you ready, mate?
Hello.
Hello, mate.
Yes.
It is good to see you.
Oh my god.
Winner of tonight. Give us your thoughts on this one, then.
Jeez. That was quite the. I mean, very nice race. I probably that's definitely the strongest race I've had all year. Had a lot. I think it's the pace was there. Quali got P2, had pole for like 1 sec, and then my teammates took it, but it's fine. Otherwise, very, very strong, and the safety car at the end did kind of scare me a bit, but I'm very, very happy I kept it clean. I had 2 track limit warnings for like the second half of the race, so I was very much stressed, but
yeah,
luckily very happy to at least end the season on something, on a high. So
well, strategy today, are you happy with that went, or would you have changed anything if you did it again?
The only annoying part was my teammate was Ferrari literally every lap, both times he boxed, I wanted to box, so I had to basically overcome each stop, which is a little bit annoying. But in all, I don't actually know what he got a penalty for because I was following the whole race, so I don't actually know. Maybe it was for going in the pit lane, but I'm not sure. But ultimately, it's very, very, very strong. I'm very happy. I think I've got I think I've locked P3 in the
Yeah, you
championship
have.
as well, which is also a very nice way to end that on a high as well. So very happy.
Right, I was just going to say, that leads me on to my next question. I was going to say, you've wrapped up third place now, and I've heard you'll be getting a trophy from that as well. Looking back at the season as a whole, are you happy with how it's gone?
No, definitely. I don't think if you told me at the end of this season, I would be third in the drivers. I don't think I wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah.
I probably would have said top 10 at least. But no, I'm very happy. I think I did have two very bad races in Bahrain and Zandvoort. So maybe I could have snuck into the title fight, but at the end of the day, those two races were my own. I'm the reason I struggled in those two
Yeah.
races, and just got to prepare better for next time for those ones. But overall, very happy with the first season, and can't wait for the next.
Good stuff. Well, a great season from you. It's been a pleasure to commentate over you this season, and I appreciate your time for every time you've been in the commentary box and the interview room with us every race. But yeah, it's been a great season, and see you whenever we start again.
Thank you for your work as well.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right, Mikey, let's round off with you, mates. The second place then in tonight's Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. What's your thoughts on that one then?
I was just praying Malone got a penalty, really. Yeah, it is what it is. Like, yeah, it's not been the best season for me. A lot of the tracks I'm not a big fan of, and
Yeah.
I've had a lot of muck ups. I didn't do the first race of the season, and then Miami, I didn't switch to the wet, and then everybody overtook like a sitting duck. And I don't know, Singapore, I got to drive through right at the end, and then when I was fighting for the podium with the boys, yeah, kind of like just screwed my season a bit, like, isn't it? But yeah, all in all, it's been fun.
Good stuff. Well, obviously, you talk about this season, you're saying not been the best, but do you think you feel more hopeful then going into the next season? Well, you might feel more confident actually seeing when the calendar's released, but do you think you feel more confident going into season 2?
Yeah, should do. I think, but yeah, a lot of things haven't really gone my way this season, but just is what it is, isn't it? Sometimes it goes for you, sometimes it doesn't. Congratulations to Maloon on beating me to P3.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No worries. But
Well,
yeah, I was hoping he'd get a penalty at the end, though.
Yeah. Well, honestly,
But I didn't fight Billy too hard because I thought if he goes through, he can cause some carnage, and he did cause carnage, but it was to Ferrari, not Maloon, which is annoying for
yeah.
me.
Well,
But
everybody,
congrats to Billy on the championship as well.
100%.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Congrats.
thank you.
Congrats, Billy.
It's been a great season from everybody. It really has. And speaking to everybody as a whole, I've said it in the stream quite a lot, but WRC has got to be the best league that I commentate on at the minute, and just keep it up because the racing action, especially today, it was incredible. Genuinely, it was so good. So keep it up because it was brilliant, and I'm looking forward to see you all back next season, guys. So thank you very much.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
your
very much.
comments.
Thank you.
No
Thank
worries.
you.
See you later, everybody. Have a good Christmas.
All right, Merry Christmas, everyone,
Yeah, have a
Merry
great
Christmas.
Christmas.
and a Happy New Year, you filthy animals.
See you later, mate.
See you lot.
All right,
Bye.
GG's.
Oh, wow. Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much for joining us for this incredible season, ladies and gentlemen. We are done. That is it. Charlie making fun of me because of the voice crack. Anyway, thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Incredible season. Finally, season 1 is over. We'll be back for season 2 in 2026. Make sure you're there for it because it's going to be even better and bigger than this one. See you later. Have a very nice Christmas and a Happy New Year. And hopefully see you back next year, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.